Welcome to Crucial Conversations, and we have with us again today as part of our crucial conversation around collaboration and working together to be stronger and to affect great change. We have Charlie Polka from Hill and Associates, Joe Convertino Jr. Of CH Insurance, and Anthony Marrone of the Marrone Law Firm. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks, Angela. Good to see you again.
Good to see you all too. Good to see you all too. So today our conversation, I'm Angela Moonan. I work in both marketing and coaching and working with leaders in their mindfulness and mindset with their teams and with their clients and patients and customers, whatever the case may be. And so we're here to, we know we've got 49 days out or 48 days out now, gentlemen. We have what could be the election of the century, right? So as we reach across the aisles, the proverbial aisles, we're talking today about collaboration and how each of you help foster and facilitate compelling partnerships, strategic alignments, and how you foster that, that energy and that commitment to collaboration within your organizations. So with that, Charlie, I'll pass the baton to you. And gentlemen, please feel free to ask questions of one another or interject as each one of us is sharing something. So take it away, Charlie.
Thank you. Collaboration is certainly important in all of our businesses, right? As Angela was alluding to, we kind of as a country struggle with this a little bit right now, don't we? Generally speaking. So we want to keep things, on a positive note. So we won't dive too far into that. But this topic for me goes back to core competencies, which are communicating empathically, collaborating consciously, and then inspiring action. Those things are certainly important in my business, in your business, I think in all of our businesses, and really in anything where you're dealing with stakeholders, clients, et cetera, the general public, really anything. So I'll use a small example from my business that I'm dealing with right now. One thing is, and Angela, I know you've experienced this with me, when we take on a new client and we're dealing with tax issues or Anthony, certainly with legal issues, or with insurance issues, right, Joe? I mean, if we're, you know the story from, that Milt always tells, the first thing we really do is we do a review of property and casualty insurance, because we can build somebody the perfect retirement plan, but if they don't have the proper coverages in place and something happens, which it often does, that can all be ruined and destroyed, in a matter of minutes, if we don't have the right protection in place. But Angela, I mean, I talk about, we need to be able to communicate with accountants. We need to be able to communicate and collaborate with attorneys, and even with other financial advisors or offices. We all
Charlie,
know.
when you do that, when you're doing that, I'm curious, just like our politicians are facing, when you come up against a company that you might not necessarily voluntarily elect to work with, but because you've got a client who that's who's in their corner, et cetera, that you're kind of, working across those, you might not agree, right? You might have disagreements. How do you, and Hill and Associates, all of you, Milt, all of you, Jen, how do you help facilitate that? How do you foster cooperation?
So this is a current example, and then I'll turn it over to the guys. So one of the things that we deal with constantly in our business, so the only constant is change, right? We're all constantly dealing with change. And in our business, we like to think that we're going to retain every single client we ever have, but that's not realistic for a lot of different reasons. when we are approached and asked to take over accounts from other firms or other advisors, I'm dealing with a situation right now where we're trying to transfer assets from a firm, and the advisor doesn't want to collaborate. He thinks he's going to talk this client into staying with him by calling him and having his assistant call, rather than sort of dealing with the reality and then collaborating with us to make the process easy for the client.
Putting the client center stage rather than
That's
themselves.
right. In other words, and this is one of the things about collaboration, which is called leaving yourself behind. It's not about you, it's about the client. But a lot of professionals have a hard time with leaving themselves behind. So they kind of try to make themselves front and center, and that's obviously not really the way it should be. So the point is, we recently did a similar transaction, actually with the same firm, which is a national firm everybody would know, but the office that we worked with previously understood the power of collaboration and assisted us and made it very easy for the client, so that the client at the end said that wasn't really that difficult. And I then sent an email to the office and said, look, thanks for collaborating on this. That's the way it should be. I'm dealing with a situation right now. Again, same firm, but a different attitude and mindset, right? In the office, where they don't want to let go and they don't want to collaborate. And it's obvious. So now the client is aggravated. The office feels like we're trying to strong arm them or something. I don't know. And we're doing extra work to assist this client. So I'll read one thing real quickly. And so this is just something about effective collaborators are extremely conscious in their words and actions. They view mastering collaboration skills as a combination of art and science, which it is. They approach each prospect and client with great intentionality, which is a word that I've heard Anthony use. Attorney Andrew Marrone, is there one of those out there? It's a word I've heard Anthony use on a number of occasions during his webinars. And then lastly, they seek to promote collaboration in all of their conversations. So it's really, Angela, we're always talking about this. It's part of mindset. So that's it.
Yes.
Thanks.
You're always looking through, Anthony, is that true? Are you always looking through the lens of collaboration? You're looking for the way to find common ground?
Yeah, I mean, I think our first value, we have 5 core values at our firm. The first one is build the tribe. So we define that as both internal and external, right? Because we've got internal collaboration among the team and trying to kindle that, but also external collaboration with community partners, people that are interested in helping our community be a better place and helping the people who live here lead better lives. So basically everything that we do is through that lens. It doesn't have to have a direct, I think the people who understand business in this community know that there doesn't have to be a direct financial benefit for me personally in order to collaborate with someone. If that's
I think that's a great point, because so often companies say, well, what are you going to do for me?
Right.
Right. As opposed to coming with saying, I'm being of service, right? It's being of service mindset versus what's in it for
Anthony. How often does that, I mean, I'm asking a rhetorical question, but how often does that not come back to in some way benefit you? Maybe not even financially, but that always comes back. It's like that whole paying it forward mindset.
The law of abundance, right? Like like cup runneth over. It's what's interesting to me is that when I get confronted, and this does happen from people who think like that I owe them some amount of referrals, or that it hasn't been a two-way street, and you got to kind of pull the screen back and say, well, look, I don't know, I can't always send you back a direct referral as a financial advisor because most of my clients are referrals from financial advisors. So you got to take a bigger picture approach to this. You know, I'm going to be in business for the next 40 years or, you know, however long till one of my kids takes over. And so, you know, I'm going to have an opportunity to send you back a lot of business over time. But I just think people have such a short term, what's in it for me mentality a lot of the time that it makes it difficult. But I know what keeps us focused and centered at our firm, and for me personally, is this idea that I'm looking for people that will help me build the tribe, both internal to me and my team, but also in this community that I live in, spend my money in, pay taxes in, that I want to be a good place to leave behind when I'm not here anymore. So it doesn't have to always be personally beneficial to Anthony to do a deal together, or, you know, collaborate on a webinar together, or, you know,
as
show
an
up on somebody's
example,
podcast.
as an example, Anthony, when you're interviewing or you're looking at talent, you're calling talent in the marketplace, and you've gone through some tremendous growth, and we've all experienced unbelievable shifts, right, since March of this year.
Yeah.
But as you've pivoted and adapted, and those are the big buzzwords lately, right? Because they're so real for us. I mean, they're very real. Everyone's experiencing the same thing. How do you vet that when you're looking for a potential partner, or you're looking for a potential employee to add to your talent pool? How do you vet? Do they have a spirit of collaboration?
Well, it's a combination for me of asking what their involvement in the community is, if any, and then I ask why they want to work for us. And if they have some kind of answer that keys into some of the things that we're involved in the community, like our minority action fund that we launched, or, you know, some of our community efforts, then I could tell they're paying attention to those things, or at least they've looked at our website, which so many people don't do before they go on a job interview. Then I know, okay, this is a person that I may want to be in community with. It's got to be somebody that I want to be in community with. I'm not going to hire someone just because you can make a great widget. You know, there's a lot of people out there right now who can make a great widget. I want someone that I want to live in the same community with, and that I think is going to help me kind of move the ball forward a little bit in their own way. It doesn't have to be the same way I would do it. You know, not everybody's going to be out in front like I want to be, but in their own way. And we do look for that. I mean, that's exclusively what I'm looking for, first and foremost, is somebody who's community minded and wants to be involved in some way. Because we do a lot of stuff.
They have a genuine, like, curiosity, right, about being a part of something.
It can't just be someone who's like, oh, I want to work in a law firm. I've always liked the law. Like, those people get shuffled to the bottom of the pile almost immediately.
Gotcha. Any other, Joe, how about you? I mean, we've worked, you and I have worked together for many, many moons, and I consistently see you reaching out and looking to build strategic alliances, and again, not the ones that just benefit CH, but that you see long term, that long view, right? That there's benefit there for everyone.
I look at this, the three of us, okay? I never knew Anthony 6 months ago, okay? He never knew me. I knew Charlie a little bit, but we're local growing businesses. We're independent. We're not part of larger firms. And, you know, the mindset has to say, I want to get to know this guy. So that was me reaching out and thinking of an idea, leveraging Angela. And someday we will all do business. Yes, and he's right. But, you know, it's led to different things, that not just business, but now we know about each other community-wise. He knows the same circle of buddies that I know. And it's developing, but we're learning from each other's practices. That's one piece of collaboration. The other piece is, and this is going to continue, is, as you know, Ange and Charlie, collaboration's in the DNA here at CH. I wrote different types of collaboration that we have here. My executive team collaboration, and it's kind of talking a little bit on his tribe. We don't do anything here without our executive team collaboration with ideas, with time off, with virtual working from home, okay? I mean, this is continuing. So we're doing collaboration internally. I put client collaboration. We all learn from our clients, okay, to include all our sales crew, okay? We have client collaboration. Another important piece, networking collaboration. Networking is the jewel of any business, okay? And, you know, when you can have that capability of synergy with networking, now I have people calling us for, you know, hey, I heard you're downtown. Tell me a little bit about the atrium and what you like there. So it's doing other things other than selling business, okay? And I think you'd all appreciate that. So the networking aspect. And then I put a fun thing. We all have friends where we have friend collaboration, golf collaboration. I mean, it's family collaboration. I mean, we're keeping this to business, but there is so many types of collaboration, and we just live by those principles here. And if I look at the people that fail within our organization, they don't collaborate.
What do you think, Joe? What are the skills? I mean, when you say collaborate, it could to some degree mean a little bit something different to anyone watching this. So fill me in a little bit from my own insight of what that looks like, feels like for you. What do you think some of the skills?
Use the first example. I'm sure Anthony was seeing us everywhere. I was seeing him everywhere. It took me, Anthony, Joe Convertino, love what you're doing. Can we have a cup of coffee? It starts with the basics. It starts with the basics.
Curiosity, a willingness to open up, to meet people, to create a conversation like we're doing here.
It's not just this. Business people are living on LinkedIn. They're living on Facebook within their businesses. There's collaboration within social media. I see a ton of groups out there. I mean, I'm sure you guys see it, Anthony, the attorneys of Central New York. You know, one of the things that I'm proud of when the pandemic hit is you talk about collaboration. I put out an email to 5 of my competitors. One group, Brown and Brown, Taylor, and NBT. So let's get on a Zoom. They couldn't believe what I was, why? We need to talk about our businesses. How are you handling what's going on? The virus is excluded. Let's all learn from each other. It wasn't who was better than someone else. Now they're starting to see me and say, Junior, when are we doing that meeting again? But it's leading to other things. How are you doing with your staff? Are you open? How are your temperature checks? You know, and it's growing all of our businesses, but not letting obviously secrets out of what we each do, but learning from, at least from my standpoint, how they're treating their people during these times and how the business is moving during this pandemic. And I'm sure, Anthony, you've done the same thing. Charlie, you said that, you know, it's very important to get together with your key, I don't want to call them competitors, but you know, how you can help each other out to respect each other when you win or lose business too.
Yeah, that's funny. Probably around the same time, I sent an email to about 30 or 40 people that would be considered my competitors from the outside. You know,
right.
We have the same types of work, same types of practice, same types of clients, checking in on all their well-being. And then we've since kept that email thread going. And I just started that organically. We've kept it going with, you know, as the laws have changed, how we're all reacting and responding. But yeah,
right.
Just something that was like nothing, right? Like a throwaway for you to do that. What's an hour on a Zoom or 20 minutes on an email, but it's led to a bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, and you know, collaboration, we've talked about these other things, transparency. So collaboration is going to promote a lot of other healthy habits like transparency, like authenticity. You know, because when you're collaborating with other people, especially within your own business, by the way, you can't fake it. I mean, you know, you're not selling in those moments because those people aren't going to be sold by you. You're talking about the things that work for your business and the things that you know, the things that will promote collaboration. And so I think that's really important. Not something that's easily done, maybe because of the subject matter in my industry.
Probably right.
You know, I mean, you know, Anthony, you guys are working from the same, in a sense, not that you run your practices the same way, but you're working from the same playbook. The law is the law, right? Or the concepts kind of put some structure to what you are doing. I think in our business, I wish there was less competition and more collaboration, because we really struggle with reputation. And when clients tell me that, my first response is, I understand, and rightly so, because it's a different,
Right.
it's a different widget.
Right. We're
Right.
fighting an uphill battle. Let's face it. Insurance, lawyers, financial. You cringe. Okay? People cringe. So if we're collaborating the way we're supposed to, wow, what's it like over there at CH Insurance? I hear this, I hear that. They want to work for you. You start creating a bench, and I'm sure you're seeing that, Anthony, as you keep growing. Wow. So it's helped in that respect, but it takes time. It takes time, but I'll tell you what, when we interview or need new people to market our business, these are the questions we're asking them, and it's helping us weed or bring in the right people to be part of our DNA. And, with the help of Angela over time, this took time. But it takes a lot of strategy. It takes a lot of thinking, but it can be done. We all have tremendous competition, but to take the bull by the horns, and Anthony started an email with 30 people. I picked up an email with 5 of my largest competitors and said, let's talk. The respect was like off the charts. Now we're going to compete, but can we learn from each other?
And don't you think, oh, go ahead, Anthony, I'm sorry, or Charlie.
No, I was just going to say, just to touch on this a little bit in our last few minutes, we see this constantly in what's going on Capitol Hill, and certainly in politics in general. We're seeing this play out with the dialogue around whether or not to do another round of economic stimulus. And that takes collaboration, that takes compromise. And on a national level, the conversation here in the next 50 days, I'd like to say I'm optimistic about the tone and the level of collaboration, but I think we're fighting a little bit of an uphill battle.
But Charlie, we started this conversation out before we started recording for our Facebook audiences. We started the conversation out by saying there are many examples around the world of where business has led the example. Business has become the example, for rather than everyone looking to our government as the example. Our entrepreneurs, our leaders, our visionaries within the business realm can be that rock, can be that lead by example. Charlie, you and I were just on a mastermind earlier this week, and Todd was talking about the importance of leading by example, whether that is for your children and your peers and colleagues, whether that is for your constituents. If you are a politician, are you leading by example? And to your point, Joe, don't you think, regardless of the industry, that it really comes down to those 5 principles we usually kick these crucial conversations off with? And does that individual have a level of passion and energy for what they're doing, and an integrity? And generally, if you find that those pieces of trust and integrity and all that go into that wonderful recipe that we talk about, if those elements are present, collaboration almost just becomes a foregone conclusion, right? What do you think about that, Anthony? It's like baking the perfect cake, right?
I could say internal or external, you're right. It would make things less stressful, and all the things that we've been talking about internally and externally. But Anthony, go ahead. I know you.
No, I think I always say no one's going to come to your house and make your dreams come true. Like if you're waiting around for government to fix most of the problems in this country, we all have our different political beliefs, but I'm not holding out hope that what happens in Washington, D.C. is going to fix, what I consider to be wrong about this country. I can focus on my community, what I can control. And so the vibe and the energy that I put out is all in the sake of collaboration. Joe and I may not agree on who's going to do a better job in Washington. That doesn't mean that we can't continue to collaborate, be friends, be in community with each other. We have the same common denominator beliefs. We don't need to allow what happens in politics to dictate what happens in our businesses or our personal lives.
Like Anthony, not to bring politics up, I should have known this. Like I've been seeing the Spoons Act out there, where saving jobs in America, keep them in America. I think we all want that. That has been out on, Brindisi, right? I mean, it's a great thing. And there's business example. I think we all want business in America, for all our businesses and all types of industry.
Angela, isn't it interesting to your point about it is, and that's something that a lot of the financial news channels talk about, how business can lead and mobilize change. Isn't it interesting how I've thought this for a long time, that the really great leaders in this country gravitate towards business or running a business or a practice, right? Anthony's running a practice / it's a business, but and the political realm does not have that same esteem anymore. The people that want to lead, I don't find that they're particularly drawn to politics much anymore. Hopefully that's beginning to change a little bit, but I think you make an interesting point.
There's a book, and I apologize that I can't think of the author's name right now, but when I post this on Facebook, and by the way, for all of those who are watching this recording, this will be posted on the CH Insurance page, on the Marrone Law Firm Facebook page, and we've got to step through some compliance hoops, right? But pretty easily, Charlie, I think, and it should eventually be on the Hill and Associates Facebook page as well. When I do that, I'll share a link to this book. But there is a book that is called The Entrepreneurial State, and it really talks about the role of business in forming and shaping a culture and some of the traditions and the outlook and the tempo and the tenor and tone of the country, the entrepreneurial state. And it because if you think about the core values, as Anthony started this out by saying, we have a certain set of core values here. The first being creating a tribe. Well, what your fellow Americans, I mean, hey guys, we're supposed to be a tribe. We're all supposed to be on the same side. We don't have to agree in order to support one another, right? And commit to a bigger vision, something that's bigger than ourselves. And so when you boil it all down, those beautiful, amazingly powerful values and talents and gifts that the entrepreneur possesses, well, my goodness, if you got momentum working in your favor with that kind of vision and energy and passion and intensity of making a difference and collaborating, it's unstoppable. It would make for an unstoppable state. We could then be called the unstoppable state. So, well, any further final comments? Anthony, how do people get a hold of you?
Oh, the internet. Anthony at themarronelawfirm.com. You can see us on Facebook at the Marrone Law Firm, Instagram at Marrone Elder Law, LinkedIn, Twitter. I got a TikTok. What else do you want?
All right. Hey, if I jump on TikTok, am I going to see any fun Anthony Marrone dances?
No.
Not yet. Not
What
yet.
about the pool, Anthony? What about the pool?
Oh, what you want? Instagram pictures of our new pool. Yeah.
All right.
There you go. Joe, how can people reach out to you?
I'll give you that in a minute. Just to close, I would say any type of industry, the advice we all gave today, collaboration is the key. It's not hard. Don't overthink. Take some tips that we all talked about. We're open to give you, any of you, some ideas, so reach out to any of us. But CH Insurance Facebook page, chinsurance.cc, LinkedIn, you know, we're all over the place, and just look forward to helping everybody. So again, Ange, thanks for the afternoon. We appreciate it.
And Charlie, people can reach you through Hill and Associates, and you want to toss you're with Catteray Grant, yes?
I am. That's our broker dealer. But if you want to find me, you can find me. So everybody knows that now. We can find anybody nowadays. But generally, LinkedIn and our Hill and Associates website, which is actually the Hill and Associates website is actually www.cnymoney.com, and I'd love to expand that a little bit, to make it a little more regional. But for this particular area, it works very well. Angela, do we have another topic for the upcoming 2 weeks out?
In 2 weeks, we can decide whether we do 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and we will toss some ideas around. And hey, if there are some specific topics, in fact, that any of those who watch this, if you have questions or thoughts or ideas or insights you would like us to delve a little deeper on, we'll take that lead as well. So
let's set up a debate stage, and we'll put Anthony and Joe on it.
Ooh.
And you and I can moderate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How come you don't have to debate?
We love some comments.
Right. Anthony's like, how come I'm doing all the heavy lifting?
Anthony would kill me.
I want to be the judge.
Yeah.
He would kill me.
All right, gentlemen, thank you ever so much. Be well. Keep shining your light. Keep collaborating. It's been a pleasure and an honor. And y'all take care. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Bye-bye. Thanks,
Ange.
Take care, guys. See you.